Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's update on Hurricane Milton. So, Hurricane Milton remains a very powerful Category 4 major hurricane as of the 8 a.m. update this morning. Milton has winds of 155 miles per hour northeasterly movement and a minimum central pressure still all the way down at 918 millibars. And taking a look at the latest cone for Hurricane Milton, going into 1 p.m. this afternoon, looking at a 150 mile per hour Cat 4 hurricane with 185 mile per hour gusts moving to the northeast. And taking a look now at our landfall, landfall has shifted again to the north to be between Bradenton and Sarasota 1 a.m. tonight as a Category 4 hurricane with 130 mile per hour winds and 160 mile per hour gusts. As I've been saying for the last several days, this is going to be a devastating and catastrophic landfall around Bradenton and Sarasota. Going to be causing complete destruction, I'm afraid, of these towns. So, please just brace for impact if you live down in this area. Going to be seeing major impacts in the Tampa area as well. Going to move across central Florida, south of Lakeland, south of Orlando, north of Palm Bay. Going to move out to sea, going into Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. as an 80 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane with 100 mile per hour gusts, and then going to weaken to a tropical storm as we go into 1 a.m. Friday, 70 mile per hour winds, 85 mile per hour gusts moving to the east. So let's get into these impacts because it's going to be some pretty destructive, serious, life-threatening impacts. Looking at the latest peak storm surge, looking at 1 to 3 feet of storm surge from Indian Pass down through Yankeetown, the Big Bend of Florida, 2 to 4 feet down through Arapeca, 4 to 7 feet down through Anclot River. Thankfully, if I do have some good news to report, the storm surge has slightly decreased for Tampa Bay down to 8 to 12 feet, but still is going to be a life-threatening to deadly storm surge for many areas in Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg, I'm afraid. The worst of the storm surge is now going to be down between Anna Maria Island and Boca Grande. You're looking at 10 to 15 feet of storm surge now. 8 to 12 feet of storm surge down through Bonita Beach, Charlotte Harbor. 5 to 8 feet of storm surge down through Chokoloskee. 3 to 5 feet down through Flamingo. 1 to 3 feet in the Florida Keys. 2 to 4 feet in Dry Tortugas. 1 to 3 feet in southeastern Florida along the coast. And along the central to northern east coast, looking at 3 to 5 feet of storm surge. 2 to 4 feet of storm surge in the St. Johns River. 2 to 4 feet of storm surge up through portions of Georgia and southern South Carolina, and 1 to 3 feet of storm surge through central South Carolina. Taking a look at our next impact, going to be a lot of flooding with Hurricane Milton, unfortunately. Looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain in the light green, 2 to 4 inches of rain in the dark green, 4 to 6 inches of rain in the yellow, 6 to 8 inches of rain in the dark yellow, 8 to 12 inches of rain in the orange shade area, and we're going to be seeing a corridor of 12 to 16 inches of rain set up from St. Petersburg through Tampa Bay through Orlando. This is going to cause catastrophic inland flooding, unfortunately, from heavy rainfall across central Florida. Could even be seeing over 16 inches of rain in portions of Pinellas County from this. Taking a look at our flooding outlook, have a high risk center across central Florida in the pink, moderate risk in the red, slight risk in the yellow, marginal in the dark green, with that high risk centered around Tampa Bay and Orlando. This is going to be mostly for through tomorrow morning, but even through Friday morning, still going to have that high risk on the east coast of Florida. Taking a look, haven't even shown you this, tornadoes are going to be a major problem as well with Hurricane Milton. We have an enhanced risk of severe weather across south central Florida in the orange shaded region, a slight risk in the yellow and a marginal in the dark green. This includes Orlando, Melbourne, and Fort Myers in the enhanced. And this is going to be tornado driven, unfortunately. I'm about to show you something I don't think I've ever seen before. We have a 10 sig for tornadoes from Fort Myers down through Melbourne from a landfalling hurricane. This, as I mentioned before, I've never seen this before. So make sure you're preparing for a tornado outbreak across south central Florida as well, from Fort Myers through Melbourne. 5% chance of a tornado includes Tampa, Orlando, and Miami, and a 2% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of a location across north central Florida in the dark green shade area. And closing off with our watches and warnings, hurricane warning continues for most of central Florida in the red, tropical storm warnings in the blue for the Florida Keys, South Florida, the Big Bend of Florida, through coastal Georgia and the northern Bahamas now, hurricane watches in the pinks, and tropical storm watches for North Florida, eastern Georgia, and southern South Carolina in the yellow. So Milton is going to be a devastating and historic storm for Central Florida. Time is running out to prepare. Please stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.